General Hospital spoilers. The identities of the two bodies found by Danny and Rocco, one male and one female. Port Charles is no stranger to dark twists, shocking discoveries, and gut-wrenching heartbreak. But the latest turn in this ever-unfolding saga pushes the boundaries even further. What began as an innocent outing for Danny Morgan and Rocco Falconeri has turned into one of the most chilling mysteries to rock the town in years. Two lifeless bodies, one male, one female, hidden away and waiting to be discovered. Their deaths a secret no longer. Who are they? What connection do they have to the powerful players in Port Charles? And how will the shocking revelations ripple across families, friendships, and rivalries that already teeter on the edge of collapse? Buckle up, because this storyline could easily become one of the most devastating arcs in modern General Hospital history. It began simply enough. Danny and Rocco, two boys bound by family legacies of cops and mobsters, decided to explore the wooded outskirts of Port Charles after school. For them, it was meant to be an adventure, the kind of carefree moment their parents so desperately want them to have in a town where violence seems to lurk around every corner. But their laughter quickly faded when the scent of decay drifted through the air. Rocco, trained by years of overhearing Dante's police talk, knew something wasn't right. Danny, instinctively braver like Jason, pushed forward. It didn't take long before they stumbled across what would change their lives forever. A shallow grave disturbed by erosion, exposing skeletal remains and fragments of clothing. Two bodies. One male, one female, side by side. The boys panicked, running home in shock, their faces pale as they blurted out their story. Within hours, the PCPD descended upon the site, and Port Charles braced itself for answers no one was ready to hear. Dante Falconeri, torn between his role as a cop and his role as Rocco's father, rushed to the scene. Sam McCall, horrified for Danny, followed close behind. Neither parent wanted their child anywhere near the grisly discovery, but there was no undoing what had already been seen. Jordan Ashford quickly secured the site, knowing this was no ordinary cold case. The bodies appeared to have been buried less than a year ago. The ground, though disturbed by rain and time, still bore signs of being deliberately dug and refilled. This wasn't random. Someone had wanted them hidden. Speculation ran wild. Were these mob victims? Targets of Brennan's international syndicate? Or were they people closer to home? Characters whose sudden disappearances had been brushed off but never truly explained? The first identification came from remnants of jewelry. A delicate silver bracelet, engraved with initials that had been nearly worn away, but not completely. Forensics confirmed what some had whispered. The female victim was Colette, the mysterious woman who had recently surfaced in Port Charles with ties to Brennan. Her death raised alarming questions. Colette had been present for several major revelations in recent months, including secrets tied to Valentine, Brennan, and even Anna's WSB past. Her sudden disappearance had been explained away as her leaving town quietly. Now it was clear she hadn't left of her own accord. For Sasha, the news cut deep. She had grown closer to Colette, viewing her as a kindred spirit in resilience. For Anna, the revelation brought guilt. Had Colette died because of information she carried that could have cleared Anna's name or stopped Brennan sooner? But the town had no time to process before the male victim's identity was revealed. This was the bombshell no one saw coming. Forensics matched dental records to none other than Vaughn, the elusive enforcer once linked to Brennan's network. Rumors had circulated that Vaughn was alive, hiding, perhaps even working undercover. But the truth was far darker. Vaughn had been brutally tortured before death, his body showing signs of prolonged suffering. Jocelyn Jacks, who had recently been haunted by whispers about Vaughn's fate, was devastated. She had harbored guilt for months, believing she could have prevented his downfall. Now the confirmation of his death reignited her rage, especially toward Brennan. Sonny Corinthos, too, was shaken. Vaughn's death wasn't just a loss. It was a message. Whoever had killed him hadn't just wanted to silence him. They had wanted to make him suffer. The pairing of Vaughn and Colette in a shared grave immediately suggested a connection. Were they killed together, perhaps after being caught conspiring against Brennan? Or had one been used as leverage against the other? Several theories emerged in Port Charles. Brennan ordered it, the most obvious explanation. Brennan, ruthless and calculating, may have viewed both Vaughn and Colette as liabilities. Eliminating them simultaneously ensured his secrets stayed buried. An inside betrayal, some speculated someone inside Port Charles had betrayed them. Was it an ally posing as a friend? Did Valentine know more than he admitted? A cover-up gone wrong. Another theory suggested that Vaughn and Colette had uncovered something massive, possibly tied to international espionage or even a Corinthos rival, and their deaths were a desperate attempt to silence them. The double cross? Could they have turned on each other? Perhaps Colette betrayed Vaughn, or Vaughn tried to use Colette as leverage. If so, who finished the job? The fallout spread like wildfire. Sam and Dante. The discovery weighed heavily on their household. Their sons had been the ones to uncover the horror, a trauma that would linger. Sam worried that Danny would follow Jason's dark path, while Dante saw echoes of his own childhood innocence being stripped away from Rocco. Anna Devane, haunted by yet another death linked to her spy past, Anna felt the crushing weight of failure. Vaughn had once reached out to her cryptically, suggesting he knew too much. Now he was silenced. Jocelyn Jacks, consumed by grief and fury, Joss became determined to take Brennan down herself. Trina tried to calm her, but Joss's obsession only grew. Sonny recognized the tactic instantly: torture and burial as intimidation. He realized Brennan was escalating, sending messages to his enemies while tying up loose ends. Sonny's empire was in danger like never before. Forensics revealed chilling details. Vaughn's body showed signs of electrical burns, broken bones, and untreated wounds. He had been kept alive for days, possibly weeks, before death. Colette's death was swifter, a single gunshot to the chest. This asymmetry suggested Vaughn had been interrogated, while Colette had been executed quickly.
But why?
Was she simply collateral damage, or had she known something Vaughn wouldn't reveal? Dante, determined to give justice to the victims and to shield his son from living in fear, threw himself into the case. But the deeper he dug, the more dangerous it became. Files went missing. Witnesses clammed up. And a chilling message was delivered to his desk: "Stop digging, or the next grave is for you." The discovery began to fracture relationships across Port Charles. Joss and Dex. Joss's grief pushed her toward reckless decisions. Dex, loyal to Sonny, begged her to stand down. But Joss's thirst for revenge drove a wedge between them. Anna and Valentine. Tension reignited as Anna questioned whether Valentine had withheld information about Colette. Valentine swore he hadn't, but his WSB past made him suspect. Sonny and Nina. The already fragile relationship cracked further. Nina wanted Sonny to prioritize family, while Sonny saw no choice but to wage war. Sam and Jason. Though Jason wasn't directly involved in the discovery, Danny's trauma pulled Jason back into Sam's orbit. Old feelings resurfaced, leaving questions about where their future might lead. As shocking as the discovery was, it soon became clear Vaughn and Colette were only the beginning. Their deaths tied into a larger conspiracy, one that stretched far beyond Port Charles. Evidence at the burial site hinted at international ties: fragments of foreign currency, traces of a rare chemical used in espionage. This wasn't just a mob cover-up. This was a WSB-level operation. Anna realized Brennan wasn't just eliminating enemies. He was orchestrating a global strategy, and Port Charles was his chosen battlefield. Vaughn and Colette had simply been pawns in a much larger game. The funerals of Vaughn and Colette, though sparsely attended, became symbolic moments. Vaughn's service drew unexpected mourners, those who had once feared or hated him, now seeing him as a victim. Colette's service, held quietly, became a place of whispered confessions. Danny and Rocco, though shielded, couldn't escape the whispers that they had unearthed something bigger than themselves. The innocence of their childhood had been forever altered. And in the background, Brennan watched. From the shadows, he smiled, knowing that Port Charles was only beginning to feel the true weight of his vengeance. The identities of the two bodies answer some questions, but they open dozens more. Who exactly tortured Vaughn? Why was Colette executed alongside him? Was Brennan truly behind it, or is there another player manipulating the chessboard? Spoilers suggest the storyline is only the first chapter in a season-long arc of danger, betrayal, and devastating losses. And with Danny and Rocco now unwillingly pulled into the violence of Port Charles, the next generation may find themselves trapped in a cycle their parents tried so desperately to escape. The reveal of Vaughn and Colette as the two bodies is more than just a mystery solved, it's a turning point. Their deaths connect the past, present, and future of General Hospital, forcing every character to confront uncomfortable truths. And as Sunny, Anna, Joss, and Dante prepare for what's next, fans can only brace themselves for a storm that promises to leave Port Charles forever changed.